Hey, good morning and welcome to Breakthrough Walls. I'm Ken Walls and I'm your host and sorry, I'm just checking my microphone, make sure it's working here. So I have a very, very amazing, very special guest and good friend of mine on the show today. And I want to go ahead and welcome Dr. Doug McCloy to the show. Doug, welcome to the show.
Thanks a lot, Ken. It's great to be on the show. Been waiting for this a long time.
I know. I've been trying. You're a globetrotter, man. I've been trying like crazy to get you on the show, and you're a busy guy. And we're going to get into some of that stuff that you are out there doing to change the world here shortly. But I created this show to. I think a lot of people in life get stuck and they don't know how to get unstuck. And my wife is on the show. She just said power player right here. So I think that by hearing other people's stories of being knocked down and getting back up and getting through it, I think it really empowers other people. It gives them hope and ability. So I want to kind of start with let's talk about where you were born and raised.
Wow. Well, I was born in Peekskill, New York, and only stayed there for about 6 months, and then moved to Ohio, Canton, Ohio. And then I really grew up in Hartville, Ohio. The tagline for Hartville, Ohio was "Nice people live here."
Oh, really?
Yeah. So that's my kind of growing up part was basically I'm from Ohio. That's my line.
Where's Hartville? Is that up by Canton, up that way?
Yeah, that is Akron, Canton area. So just a little bit from Canton, Ohio. So basically, Canton, Ohio.
Okay.
But I grew up in Marlboro originally, and then moved to Hartville when I was 12. So
wow,
I really kind of grew up in the most parts of it. But between those two, Marlboro and Hartville, not two places you hear much of.
Like they're tiny. Those got to be tiny little towns.
Very small. Now Hartville has grown up quite a bit since I've been there. They have a Division I high school there now, and Lake Blue Streaks. So a big shout out to everybody from Lake High School. The Blue Streaks.
Yeah.
Doing real good these days and a lot of stuff, but it's definitely a change.
Yeah.
Definitely a lot since I was there.
So what was it like for you growing up as a kid?
I had a good life. I mean, I had a challenging life though. And it went around 12 when I moved from Marlboro to Hartville, because my parents got divorced when I was in 5th grade. So that one kind of rocked my world, honestly.
Yeah.
But it's kind of interesting. You go back and look at those towns. When I grew up in Hartville on a 13-acre plot of land with some horses and just a blissful life of being a child. And then this divorce thing comes, and then for me, we had to go move to the big city of Hartville. I thought, how am I going to move, and all that. And I went from a school of about, 100 kids in my class to 300 or something. So it was a transition for me. It was really tough, but, other than that, but those are the kind of things that have formed me too. So I'm not going to have bad feelings about it. That's just who I am.
Right. It's part of the journey for you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Big time.
So you graduated from high school, I'm assuming, in Hartville?
Yep.
Okay.
Lake High School, class of 1987, Ken.
87. Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah. Well, you're a little bit younger than me.
I know.
Not
That's
much.
why it's out there.
Hey, you caught me yesterday, by the way. So everybody wish Dr. McCloy a happy belated birthday. Yesterday was his birthday.
Yeah.
Yeah. He's entering the second half of his life.
I was thinking about that, Ken. I don't think I'm entering the second half yet. Because if you say it's going to be 100, right?
Yeah.
Let's just say I'm only going to be 100.
Yeah.
50 is the last part of the first part.
I don't think so.
I'm
But
sticking to that.
I love how you think. So you went to high school there. You graduated in '87. You and did you go to college? I assume you did. That's how you became a doctor.
It's kind of hard not to, you know. I went to Bowling Green State University in Bowling.
Oh, there's that internet hiccup again.
Got
My apologies.
Yeah, no problem.
You went to BGSU?
BG, yeah.
Nice.
So I go to BG for my undergrad, get a bachelor's in chemistry, which was basically my pre-optometry degree, and then got in. So I graduated Bowling Green in 1991 as a Falcon, and then I migrated down to Ohio State University, the Ohio State University, for optometry school, and did 91 to 95 there. So I'm a true Ohio State alumni, and BG SU,
And that's where your optometry degree came from, and you ended up from that point. So you graduate college. I guess I'm kind of, because I know you pretty well, and you have an amazing, just an amazing spirit, good heart, and you genuinely care about other people, and that's actually, like, you live it. Like, you're not just somebody that talks about it, you actually live it. And I don't want to, if your wife would probably poke her head in and say, don't make his head too big. I'm kidding. But you have, Denise Thiel's on the stream. Yay. So,
all right.
I'm curious what you think, because I think that childhood, we kind of are formed in life. Childhood kind of pushes us in whatever direction, at least for a time, sometimes forever. But like, what do you feel from your childhood influenced you to become who you are? What was that one thing?
Well, that's a good question, I guess, isn't it? There's a lot of things. I mean, I'd have to say, no matter how challenging my childhood was with for me, a lot of my childhood, I think about the crisis moment of divorce,
Yeah.
I do think that's a big part of who I am, but I know all throughout that, like, my mom always loved me.
Yeah.
I mean, she's always loved me.
She just sent me a message a little bit ago. She's amazing.
Yeah, she still loves me.
Yeah.
I'm still like her pride and joy, so, I always knew love. I knew what love was in that sense, right?
Yeah.
I know that earthly love, that family love. So, and my dad loved me too. I mean, there's no question about that. I don't think anybody's more proud. There's not a prouder dad out there than my dad was of things that we were doing. I could tell him anything that we were doing, and he'd just be, "Oh, that's just the best thing. I tell you, that's the best day." That he just goes. Even though they weren't together, they loved me, and so I understood what love was in my childhood.
That's awesome.
I gained a different appreciation of love later in my life too. So those are the things that really formed who I am today.
By the way, I can't pronounce the name. Elok Emarej.
Yeah, I don't know what that name is for him.
But it's Jolene and Jerome representing Professional Eye Care Jamaica.
Yeah. Shout out to them,
Yeah.
Oh, Mobay, PEC Jamaica.
We got Jamaica in the house, man. So So you had a good childhood outside of that moment in time when the divorce happened, and I can relate to that. I understand it. I was way younger though, so I don't remember it. But so you ended up going, and what made you decide to go into optometry? Because I took chemistry in high school, and I was like, ew.
Yeah.
Like,
Well, that's I forgot that part about my childhood, about how it formed who I am. Is it was my junior year in high school at Lake, and my high school chemistry teacher. I was in an AP chemistry class, and she said at that time that the three best careers that you could go into, because she was kind of speaking some life into us, and she said was genetics, robotics, or optometry. And so I grew up caddying all of my young years too. And I always noticed that the doctors got to play on Wednesdays, Fridays, Saturdays, and Sundays. And I kind of knew I wanted to be a doctor too. But I remember thinking, well, okay, out of those three, the optometry is the doctor one. I'll look at that. And honestly, that was what it was for me. I didn't want to do robotics or genetics. And I really enjoyed the chemistry class and that teacher. Mrs. Ellenberger is her name. And so I started to look into optometry and basically just declared that as my major, not knowing anything about it, honestly. So
really?
Yeah, I don't have any glorious story for you about it, like some epiphany. It was, hey, that looks like the one I want, you know? So,
so it wasn't a spitball to the eye and you're like, I'm going to work on people's eyeballs. Wow.
No, a lot of optometrists go into optometry or eye care folks because they had to be at an eye doctor's office or they've had that experience. And I'd never even been to one. I just knew it sounded cool, you know, and she did have some good facts, you know, because of the baby boom generation. There's going to be, you know, a lot of people needing eye care and all that because everybody's eyes kind of go bad in the 40s. So there was some good basis behind it too, but that's how I got started in optometry.
That's insane. Wow. You have a lot of people. Warren Dyer from PEC Bay West logged in. Hey, everybody share this out. Share this out so we can get a lot of people on here. But so you got into optometry. So let's be real. It's so you could play golf Thursday through Sunday.
Well, that's definitely part of it. You know, I mean, you gotta look at what's going to make you happy in life. You know, if you don't know what you're going to be happy at,
right?
You're not going to be happy. And what fun is that?
I know. You know? We need to play golf sometime.
Let's do it.
I'm not bad. So I just need new glasses.
It's Monday, you know. I mean, I think it's Monday. Isn't it? That's your
I know. So you came out of Ohio State University with an optometry degree, and instantly were successful.
Yeah, I was actually.
Were you?
I would say yeah. I mean, not to be like arrogant, right?
Right.
But I went on the path that I was planning to do. I went and did an internship in Jamaica. Went down to get my license there. I was going to go grow dreadlocks and live on the beach for the rest of my life.
As an optometrist.
Yeah.
With dreadlocks.
Yeah, dreadlock optometrist.
That is awesome. Okay.
But I met my wife right before I left, thank God. And that helped to reroute my intentions of why I was going. But I did go down there. I guess I wasn't successful in the sense of I practiced and lived there. We decided that wasn't the best path, but we did the year internship, got licensed, opened up a little office, and that year was the launch of everything that we really are so involved in now. So,
wow,
I'll say successful, but instantly successful, yeah, maybe not instant.
Yeah, but you left Columbus, Ohio, and went to Jamaica.
Right.
Why? I think I asked you this before, but what, like if you are, like, I'm sitting in just north of Columbus, Ohio, and I'm sitting here, and if I just suddenly said, I think I'm going to go to Jamaica.
Yeah.
Like, what was it?
I don't know if this is proper for the airwaves, but the real story behind me. I mean, it wasn't like a last minute decision. It was something that was happening to me all my life. I started going to Jamaica on spring break when I was a sophomore in college at BG.
Okay.
I learned early on. I've always been a little entrepreneurial in my mind.
Yeah.
And I am never really, I don't come from money. So, early on in those days, I realized if I would coordinate 10 or 15 of my friends from my fraternity to go to Jamaica, I could get a free trip. I'd get about $500 to spend while I was there.
Wow.
And while I was there, I was like the most popular guy because I had like 15 people wallowing around with me. So everybody wanted to be my friend.
That's awesome.
So,
Uh-oh.
all through my undergrad. You got me back?
Yep, you're back. Sorry.
Yeah.
So somebody on here says, love Jamaica, lots of nice people, vacation in Ocho Rios. Isn't that where you were the other day?
I was not in Ochi. I have some friends over there, though. Oh, I was close to it. I was over by Runaway Bay. I was halfway there from Montego Bay.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, and we're going to get into that. So you were in Jamaica. You had just met your amazing wife, by the way. She's amazing.
Amazing.
And what was next? How did you end up? I mean, there's so many facets to this story. Like, what happened next? How about that?
Yeah, well, so I was doing all those trips throughout the years of my undergrad, and then I get into optometry, and about my third year of the 4 years, I just started saying, I'm going to go to Jamaica and practice. You know, that was what I was going to do. So I'd been talking about it. I found a practice to buy, which I had no clue what I was doing really on that one. But I'm all ready to go, and I meet Rhonda, my wife, like the last month of my schooling, and we get together, and I'm scheduled to go and start in September. And I actually started telling her, hey, I don't need to go to Jamaica anymore. You know, I can just stay here.
Yeah.
Stay here. Like I'm in love with you. This is way better. My plans weren't so cool, so let me just stay. And one of the best things that happened to me is she said, no, you're not staying here, because if I stay and don't go, I'll hold that against her for the rest of my life. You know, that I never went and followed my dream or that passion. So she's really the one who forced me to go. And
Wow.
I'm so glad that she did, because it really helped us to, have that experience. And then really I came back and we started the family. She's a huge part of everything that we do. She's super amazing, you know. And that year though helped me to get, I say, prepared for when we went back there in 2000 more officially, missionally, and in practice. So.
Wow. So Jill just said she is wise, such a great lady.
Yeah.
She really is. So
she's some interview on the show someday, you know.
Yeah, we need the brains behind it all. That's what I say about Jill. I interviewed Jill on here last week. So you at some point, so did you immediately start your own practice location, or did you work for another doc?
Yeah. So when I went to get licensed, the requirement was I had to do a 6-month internship at the public hospital
In Jamaica.
And at the same time, I was going to be working to own the practice I went to. I was actually going there to buy it, and that part just didn't work out. That would be the easiest way to say that.
Yeah.
But and when it didn't work out, I decided to go down the street and open up my own shop, because I was a little ornery.
In Jamaica.
Yeah.
So your first practice location was in Jamaica.
Yeah, Savannah Lamar, Jamaica.
Wow.
Yeah. So I used to commute to the hospital about 4 hours twice a week because I'd have to go up and do the internship and come back down, and kind of started up the practice. And that original practice is what is, we actually have it still. It's still in our fold now. It gifted it over to the optician that kind of helped me out there. And then she made a transition back to the States not too long ago, actually. And we kind of purchased it back. So, Savannah Lamar is my original loc in Jamaica. And interestingly enough, it's, sorry about the dogs. UPS is coming right now, but
it's okay.
And really near to the mission center where we're at. I mean, it's just the parallels and the things that I feel like, I'll say the Lord's done to, prepare me for the things he had for me.
Yeah.
They're miraculous, really.
Yeah.
Not coincidence.
So, but I kind of want to talk about, so you ended up, you had this first practice location. I mean, and just so everybody knows, you have a total of like 8 locations now?
8 or 10, something like that.
Practice locations. It's a lot.
There's definitely 6 in Jamaica.
Right.
1 in Ohio.
Yeah.
And kind of like 2 in Tennessee.
Right.
So
you're insane, man.
8, I think 8's more reasonable. 8's reasonable.
Yeah, 8, 9, 10. Who's counting? So you have all of these practice locations, but how, like, at some point you ended up back in Ohio from Jamaica, and started another practice here.
Right.
Why? So how'd that happen?
Well, I went down and did the year. You know, I got the internship, I got the license, and this is back in the day when cell phones were new, and Rhonda and I were spending like $500 US a month on cell phone bills of just trying to stay together and connected, and we just that starting our life together in Jamaica wasn't really the best idea.
Right.
I came home and went back to the optometrist, John Archer and Cheryl Archer up in Bowling Green, and they helped me transition back to the States, and I worked with them for a while. Bounced around between Columbus, Mansfield, and in some retail settings. That's what we typically do when you're starting out. And then found a private practice started a nursing home, a big nursing home thing that was going really well. One of our frame reps just led us to Marion, Ohio, and said, "Hey," because we were talking about trying to get a location for our nursing home site, and he said, "Hey, why don't you just buy a retiring practice or something?" And he brought to our attention Marion, and Marion was halfway between Columbus and Tiffin, and Rhonda's from Tiffin. Yeah. I was in Columbus, so we're like, "Oh, that's a good spot." And next thing you know, we were buying a practice in Marion, Ohio, and that's really the mother of all practices, honestly, Marion.
Yeah, you've got a nice practice in Marion. So you wow, was that location number 2 then?
You know, as you're going through it, it kind of is, you know, because the very first one really would have been Sav in Jamaica, you know.
And so with the Jamaica thing though, when you came back here, was the Jamaica thing still going and you owned it?
Yeah, it was still going. I just kind of helped keep it going with Joyce down there. It kind of became more of just an optical, but she would arrange other doctors to be in there, and I just helped to keep it supported and alive. But she really did most of the work there. All my energy really had kind of turned to Ohio and developing the model there.
Yeah.
So.
And quite the model you did develop here too. So, so at some point, and I know you don't want to go into the whole story, but I get that. But at some point you decided to start doing more than just Ohio and than the first little place you started in Jamaica. And I'm not saying it was little. It may have been huge. I don't know. But at some point you decided I want to do more.
Yeah.
What was that? What was was there a moment? Was there a moment where you're like, I'm not doing enough. I want to do more? Because I'm trying to kind of lead up to, the mission of sight and all of that. So what was kind of the moment where you went all in?
Yeah. Well, I think I've had a few of those moments, Ken.
Yeah.
I don't know if I had just one, but the one that really hit me, the first moment was that I had come to Christ. I didn't grow up in the church, and I didn't have a faith in Christ. I come to know about this new life that was available to me, right? And when I made that conversion to follow Christ in my life, I was sitting in church in Marion, Ohio, wondering what in the world I was ever going to do. Because, quite honestly, I didn't grow up there, so I didn't know what you're supposed to do. I didn't know, what am I going to plug in? What am I going to have fun with? Because I like to have fun,
right.
And I'm coming out of a different lifestyle. And I had my little awakening when one of the mission speakers came in and said, "Hey, here's what we do. We organize 10 or 15 people from the church or whoever to go to foreign countries, and we serve and we build and we witness about our faith, and that's what we do." And I finally went, "Oh my God, I've been doing that for like 8 years. I was doing that for spring break, so now I can actually do that for, the kingdom of God,
right,
and help people and be helpful rather than destructive." And so that was probably my first real thing where we organized a trip to go to Jamaica. And quite honestly, Ken, I didn't think about this, but that was the first wall that I think I really had to get around.
Really?
That was the first wall, because they said that at that time that Jamaica was a closed country to the missions program in the Church of the Nazarene because of an incident that occurred back in 1985. And this is like 1998, 99, when we're revisiting the application to send a team. And it came back that, no, you can't go.
What happened in 85?
There was an issue that occurred with a youth team, like a youth team went down, and I don't know the full detail. I don't know if I want to get into the full detail, but it wasn't pretty. And
okay.
So some of the young ladies had a bad experience.
Oh, okay.
And so the international church kind of said nobody was going to Jamaica from now on, and nobody ever revisited it until I get this stir in my heart to get involved in the missions program.
Yeah.
And I said, "Hey, I got a great place we can go. Let's go to Jamaica."
Yeah.
I've been there for years, I know they need the Lord down there. I know we can go on down there and do some great things.
Yeah.
And everybody's kind of like, yeah, that sounds great, because honestly, nobody had even heard about it, Jamaica, much, because nobody had been there in so long.
Wow.
When we went to get in, they said no. And
Who's they?
Well, the international church has a responsibility to make sure if teams are going into some foreign area that it's approved, that there's someone to receive them. And their no was basically because it had been on the books that it's unsafe. Got it. At the same time, they're going into every different African country and all these other places. So I said, how can you say Jamaica's unsafe? Yeah, it's unsafe, but come on. Tourists are going there. I'm still alive, and I was in some of the worst places you could be. Sure. So we worked through that wall, basically.
So you challenged them.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, I had to. It's my country, Like, I'm over half Jamaican. Not by blood, but just by life. Anybody that knows me will say it, that I'm very Jamaican, So that's kind of the term that we use. So when I was told I can't take my faith back to my own country, that was really rough. And there's a lot of different little nuances and stories in that. But the cool thing is that Well, Jamaica's Church of the Nazarene will maybe refer to me as, what do they call me sometimes? Yeah, I am their ambassador, but just, I came down and saw that was good. We helped to reopen the doors to Jamaica. And yeah, like they're Joshua, yeah. So anyway,
Wow.
we helped to reopen the doors to Jamaica's missions program and the Church of the Nazarene particularly. There were the Baptists, the Presbyterians, they were all going, but the Nazarene Church was closed and they had not had any visitors. So that was really the very first big thing that happened. And when we started it kind of consumed me, in the sense that it was my passion. It is my passion, and it always will be. And we just didn't do it like a once trip and done. It became a lifestyle, and it became what we do.
There's, I want to make and I'll let you make the point, but I want to bring it up, and that is, I know a lot of people that we know the scripture, faith without works is dead.
Right.
But there's a lot of people that say, I prayed and prayed and prayed and prayed and prayed and prayed, and it just didn't work out. And I want to point out that it takes more than that.
Well, I'd go on that with you. I mean, you got to do it. Even the book says, faith without works is dead faith. And you can't just be all worky either.
Right.
If you're worky, you got no faith.
Right.
So,
right.
I've always said faith in action. I mean, if there's not an action to it,
yeah,
you're just sitting around doing. I mean, I'm not badging anybody,
no,
right? But we were just talking about this with our Go Crazy Do Good team down there, Dr. Stahl. That's one of his big scriptures is the action of it all.
Yeah.
And trying to talk about what's the relation to action and faith.
Yeah.
Are they equivalent? Like, do they have to be equal? I mean, if you're really full of faith, then you should have a whole lot of action too.
Right.
If you have faith, you have just a little action. I don't know, but I just know I got a lot of action and I got a lot of faith. And so it's just the marriage of those two creates a synergy that you won't see in the natural.
Right. Right.
And I feel like what we have going on down there now is the synergy of faith and action put together.
Yeah.
On a lot of people's fronts.
Yeah. And I think that's something that it's like taking on the International Church's decision to say, no Jamaica. Nobody's going to Jamaica. No, let the Catholics deal with that. I'm just kidding. I'm kidding. Totally kidding. I don't want any hate mail. No hate mail. I'm kidding. But they said, no, you're not going to Jamaica, and you did not accept that as an acceptable answer.
No, I couldn't.
Right.
I just couldn't. And unfortunately it wasn't because I broke through the wall, so to say. I didn't knock the wall over. It's just like, okay, why is it that way? Okay, what do we have to do to make it different?
Right.
Just kind of working through the process, not just bouncing off the wall, because we talk about, in our thing, just don't bounce off the walls. A lot of people just bounce off and then they're done.
Yeah.
There's going to be walls in your way in everything that we do, especially if it's a good thing and if it's a new thing.
Yeah.
So you got to know how to navigate the wall.
You do. Sometimes you got to get out a stick of dynamite. Blow that puppy up, man. Get it out of your way. No, I'm kidding. Don't get in. No dynamite. I'm not advocating that. But sometimes it's almost like it's a test to see how bad you want it.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. I would. Yeah, definitely. And then it gives you that sweeter taste once you get through it. It just tastes sweeter whenever you have to endure a little bit. Now, I am 50 now, so I'm kind of ready for just not having to push as hard through some things.
Right.
And we're definitely experiencing these days just some of the really amazing stuff. How about that bad description? But the amazing stuff that is a product of those early days of dealing with walls.
Yeah. Yeah. So let me ask you this, like, and you know, I don't know. I'll just throw it out there.
Yeah.
The people that get stuck in life, I know, excuse me, I know a lot of people that Christian, not Christian, doesn't matter. Like they get stuck. They don't know what to do. They live a life as a victim, or they live a life as a whatever, and they remain stuck there until they go to their grave, right?
Yeah.
What is it, in your opinion, that keeps people there, that keeps them stuck, that can't, you know, they can't get out of their own way and out of their own head or whatever it is? What do you think it is? What's one of the number one things in your opinion?
Um, you look like you're stuck on the screen there right now.
I literally was. I'm not anymore. I'm unstuck.
Yeah, bandwidth, you know, that could be something that sticks people.
Yeah. Yeah, but I'm going to solve that today with the yeah.
It's a question that could be really controversial. However, I answer that one because I think, you know, one thing I think about is not everybody is designed to lead either. You know, like sometimes we think, oh, everybody should be a leader. Well, no, everybody's not a leader.
Right.
So I think sometimes people are just, you know, we're created to be who we are, and that may be the definition for them. But the ones that are vocal about, you know, I've been waiting on the Lord, or I've been this or the other, or I can't seem to get through.
Right.
I think a couple things. I think fear of failure is probably one of those. Fear of the unknown. I'd probably say fear. I think in my mind, I don't know. I've never done a study on it. I'm not an expert, Ken.
Right.
But I think one of the things that I've had to overcome, if I'm thinking about why did I get through, is trying to be a little more fearless and kind of not worry about what the results are. Now, sometimes I've been maybe too fearless and haven't considered all, like, who's with me in the game, like my family and my children, my wife. And you know, it's funny, you know, I said bandwidth, you know, I function because I'm functioning on the bandwidth of the Holy Spirit.
Right.
You know, so I know that when that Spirit's flowing through me, and I'm allowing that Spirit to flow through me, then I can function above fear.
Yeah, absolutely.
But so whatever a person's motivation be, you know, whether it's the Spirit or it's whatever, if they're not connected to that bandwidth, you know, you're not going to move.
You know, I think even in your profession, how many people have you seen over the years, patients, that they were like, oh, I didn't want to come here. I was scared. I don't like that numbing you do to my eyeballs or dilating. I don't. And so it wasn't until I accidentally walked off that balcony last week. No, I'm kidding. But like, right? Like they'll go to, it's like I have a lot of friends that are dentists, and they're like, you know, the worst time to come to the dentist is after you have an abscessed tooth. Like, you need to do it more frequently. And so, like, that stuff, like it's all fear.
Yeah.
Right? That's fear.
No, that's the thing, and you're fearing what you don't even know. You know, which is even worse because it's not even real. Half the things here, they're not even real. Right. But they can become really real in our minds when we fabricate what it all could be. You know, so I think fear.
So. I'm sorry, I don't know, like my bandwidth, so one thing that I do want to bring up is couple of things. First, let's talk about over your right shoulder. What is that back there? back
Well,
that little
that
plaque.
really isn't placed there by any means. You mentioned that earlier, pre-doing, but that is the humanitarian award for the Ohio Optometric Foundation this year that I got last month, which is really, it's on that table just because it's a remembrance and it's kind of like a stamp of approval for all the work we've done, you know. So really proud of that.
You got that award because of not because of all the for-profit practices that you've set up, but for the other stuff. And I'd like you to talk a little bit about that other stuff, because I know you and I know that's where your heart really is in helping the amazing people, not just here in Tennessee and Ohio, but in Jamaica. You do some amazing work down there. And for anybody who doesn't know who Dr. Doug is here, like, make sure you follow him, because he's doing some really cool live streaming now down in
Thanks.
Jamaica, and you're doing some cool stuff with the cataract surgery. Like, I don't know that there's any place on planet Earth that needs cataract surgery as much as Jamaica.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. There's some truth in that.
What? Why? Why is that? What's that all about?
Well, it's a combination of a few things. You know, some of it's genetics. You know, it's just the makeup of our people. And the other is the environment, which is the ultraviolet light and the exposure to UV, unprotected exposure of that, plus the diet. You know, it's heavy in salts and oils, and I mean, we like to fry stuff, we like to salt stuff, we like carbohydrates. So there's a lot of factors, but it's kind of a combination of being an African Caribbean mix that is island, and add the island salt to that on top of the island aspect. That really. Yeah, that's now that's FedEx. See, so that's a different. But so you add all that together, Ken, and really one of the bigger problems is access to care. The public health system, albeit free, the backup in the system there is over 2 years long to get a cataract in the public hospitals to have it removed. So access to care just creates this continually, the cataracts keep piling up because they're not really chipping off at them. Yeah. So,
wow,
it's a huge issue that is what I got convicted about.
Right.
If you want me to roll towards how.
Yes. Yeah, do it. Let's roll.
So, you know, we started doing the missional stuff back in 98, 2000. And one thing that we realized is that I'm a very independent-y kind of guy. I didn't want to go ask the church for money to support us or things like that. Plus we're kind of just doing some extreme stuff. So we had to become sustainable, and sustainable just been the word forever for us. And that was that I realized I was down there laying blocks, Ken, like cinder blocks, mixing concrete, trying to build up some walls for the retreat center. And I'm looking outside the fence and I see there's about 5 or 6 guys outside that are construction workers, because we're doing like a construction project. We brought in all these nice white people from America, you know, to build to do this construction. And it just comes on to me that, wow, I dropped one of those blocks on this hand and I'm in a problem. Yeah. Because I got little lenses, I got to pick things out of people's eyes and everything. And I'm like, okay, so I'm putting myself at risk and I'm putting them out of work. So what good is that? You know, that doesn't mix well. And I realized I could just go down the street to the hospital that I did my internship at. And if I went down there and just volunteered myself there doing eye exams, which is my personal gift, right? Not laying block. Never did that.
Right.
Okay. I would not only be a better utilization of my resources of who I am, I would help more people. And they had no way to even get glasses back then. So we said, well, if we just put together an affordable little glasses package, so we could be affordable and accessible and exceptional. Yeah. That little bit of money that we'd raise could help pay my electric bill, right, while I'm there for extended stays. And I could take that money and pay for the 5 guys on the outside to lay 50 times more blocks than I could ever do.
Right.
So that kind of launched us into this mindset that, hey, let's open up offices as little outreach centers that could help the sustainability of the missions program, so we don't have to have our hands out begging money all the time.
Wow.
There's other places that need to do that. And that is what stirred us into the life, like making our work our worship.
So you literally created microeconomies almost. I mean, because you're employing these guys and they get to feed their families as a result. And dude, that's amazing. That's amazing what you're doing.
Emphasis on micro.
I get that, but I'm just saying that even if you're only helping 2 people out, you're still stimulating the economy. You're still helping.
Oh yeah.
Right? And you do a lot of pro bono stuff there too. You just froze. Is it you freezing or is it me freezing?
Let's blame it on me, Ken, because it wouldn't be you.
I love it, dude. But like I just said, you do a lot of pro bono stuff to help, right?
Yeah.
I want to talk about this new push that you and I are discussing how we're going to help with that. But why don't you talk a little bit about that, because I have a lot of people that watch the show that may be able to help. Let's talk about it.
Well, it's kind of a good segue from that, because we've been so sustainably minded. That's always just been always what we're doing, and not really looking to look for, contributions to what we do.
Right.
And I've been convicted over this last year, really. It's been going on for a while, that we need to do a better job of connecting people with the people that we're helping,
right,
who need the help, like these cataract patients. They're literally blind, both eyes, can't see. And many of them, their challenge has been access to care is the problem. Because we're sustainable, we're not a free service, but we're really cheap. We're really inexpensive. But even that little inexpensive amount can be the roadblock to someone getting their surgery. So what we want to do is to engage contributors with the people that are having the surgery, to bring them together and to help those that need the help. But a lot of times, people want something tangible and nice and fun and new to give to, to help towards, even if it's little or big. And I feel like as the director of what we do, I've kind of dropped the ball a little bit on helping people get engaged in giving to help others the way we're doing, which, so all that builds up to here I am turning 50. And I felt
you already turned 50. Just want to remind you. Your memory's probably starting to slip a little bit.
It's already bad, yeah. So even though I'm already 50, see, in Jamaica now, we call it the birthday month. We celebrate the birthday month.
Oh, okay.
Okay. So there's a little Jamaican culture for you. We call it our birthday month. So I still got 16 days left in the month to celebrate.
Okay. See, I do the same thing. I didn't know I was Jamaican. Now my wife knows now. It's not my fault.
And I want to extend it on. I want to like I said earlier in the show, I want to make it a birthday year. I'm 50 all year.
I love it. Yeah.
So just had this inspiration that I just want to raise, say, $50,000 to go towards cataract patient sponsorship only. I feel like if we did that and we infused that, those patients will still pay something for their surgery. Maybe they can't afford the whole $500 is basically what it costs.
Yeah.
Find 200 and we'll just keep rolling and paying forward, and it'll create a momentum that will really help us to not have anybody have a reason to not come.
I gotta say that I've seen some of your live streams. I've seen some of the patients. Like, you've had patients in there. I can't remember the one woman's name, but she was such a sweet, sweet lady. and she was completely blind in both eyes.
Yeah,
Completely.
Elretha.
Yes. What's her
Yeah,
name?
I believe it's Elretha. I have to.
Aretha, that's it. Because
Yeah,
I thought you were saying Aretha, like Aretha Franklin.
yeah,
But Aretha, yeah. So she was completely blind, 100% blind,
yeah,
and you brought her in, and through the mission of sight, you were able to do the surgery on one of her eyes to start. And hold on, we're frozen. Okay, we're back. You were able to do one of her eyes, then you did a kind of what's that show? Move That Bus. You did the reveal,
yeah,
and
yeah.
I saw like at first, what's that?
Remove the patch. Remove
Remove
that
the
patch.
patch. Yeah, and so at first she still couldn't see. But then it started like you said on your live stream, her eyeballs starting to wake up.
Yeah,
It's been asleep for a while, and
yeah.
and then all of a sudden she could see. I
Right.
remember she said she could see Jolene's white skin,
White hand.
white hand. Yeah, yeah. So so that was like, dude, I honestly sat here and watched that, and I teared up watching it. It was
Yeah.
amazing, absolutely an amazing. A friend of mine who passed away several years ago was literally going to be a professional baseball player, but instead he developed what's it called, macular degen.
Yeah. Macular degeneration.
Yeah. So he literally was almost completely blind by the end of his life, but I'll tell you, the guy was still one of the most grateful people I've ever known in my life, ever. And that's one of the things that I see with the people that you're working with down there. They are so grateful.
Oh yeah.
Everybody watching this, just imagine being completely blind. Like you have to get up from your computer right now and go to the bathroom, and all of a sudden you're blind. Like, good luck. Like,
Yeah.
and that's what these people are living with on a daily basis, and you're down there helping them. And dude, it's awesome.
It is. That's why I think we need to share it. We're kind of selfish that it's all us. People would really enjoy being engaged in it.
Yeah, that's awesome. So we're going to put together some stuff where we're going to raise. You said 50,000. I said let's 10x that. Let's go with 500,000. We're
Well,
going
or
we're gonna believe in the 500 grand, because we can help a whole lot more people with $500,000 than we can with 50 grand. So although 50 grand would make a dent, it wouldn't make a splash. Let's make a splash, and
Ken, let's splash it up.
yeah, let's raise some money. So we're gonna talk about that. Dr. McCloy and I are. We're gonna figure out a way to really raise the bar. And $500,000. Let's do it. Let's do it. So what else is on the horizon for you? What's coming up?
Well, it's interesting you ask, because today is National Diabetes Day. Did you know that, Ken?
Did not know that.
Yeah, and this is Diabetes Awareness Month also.
Oh, wow.
So diabetes is one of the biggest destroyers to vision in the eye. Diabetic retinopathy is one of our greatest challenges in Jamaica that we have as well. And you have to prevent it. You can't be like going after it after you had an accident. You got to be in prevention mode. So it affects the retina. And in Jamaica now, we feel like we're chipping away at the cataract problem. But if you have a retinal problem, there's not a lot of hope for you. There's maybe like one place you can go that is way too much out of the cost structure of everybody there. And so we are developing retina, and that's the greatest new horizon. We just got a grant from a retina company to help us with that. That is going to help us like make a dent, get us a little start. But that's the part that's the next frontier, is to really accomplish it. And we can. That's the thing. We really can do it. So I'm
Wow.
excited about making a difference in diabetes because Jamaica diabetes, I mean, it's just everywhere there for us. It's
Is it
just,
really?
yeah, we love sweet drinks. We love rice and peas. We love high carbohydrate stuff. And genetically, our bodies in Jamaicans not real good for that stuff, you know.
Yeah.
So education on wellness, but prevention and using lasers and setting up retina and all kinds of fancy medical terms I could use for you. That's the next horizon. But the other horizon right now, though, is that we are officially now getting so close to being a true partner with the Ministry of Health that they are going to be sending their cataracts to us, a nonprofit, but we are sustainable because they've been wanting to have partnerships with the outside because they know they can't handle the load. And so to get that kind of recognition and to start helping them, it's just phenomenal. So I think we're going to need that splash, Ken, because we got some good problems ahead of us.
I don't, I mean, there's millions of dollars raised in this country every single day for a variety of things. And I think that this is it's just a great cause. It's a great thing that you're doing down there, Doc. and I see, he said that that's Jerome spelled backwards, by the way. Uh-oh. Now we're really frozen. Oh, there. Now we're unfrozen. Okay. We just broke through a wall there. Emeridge
So
is Jerome. Is it
Jerome Cole backwards.
Jerome
Yeah.
Cole?
Yeah. Backwards. Fine. Took me all this time, took this interview for me to understand what that means. Yeah. Rhonda's there nodding her head too, like, oh.
That's great. So,
He's a rising star, by the way, Jerome. He's a
really,
great, yeah, yeah, it really is.
is that the guy that you were in the car with when you FaceTimed me from down there the last time, or no? Who
Oh,
was
that'd be
that?
Ringo. Ringo's a legend.
Oh,
You got
Ringo, yeah.
a legend. But Jerome's a young and up and comer, just full of energy and talent and growing in the company, really,
That's
to
awesome. That's
every level.
awesome. I love the way you're constantly edifying everyone else, man. And
Oh,
and and your humility is like here you are, this amazing, accomplished doctor, and like you love to give everybody else the credit, and that's one of the most amazing things about you, in my opinion. So. We're going to do everything we can in our power, and our reach, and our abilities to really help your vision of make it bigger and
yeah,
make it a reality.
awesome.
So
And I just want to put a shout out to you, Ken, and your wife, Jill, and what you guys are doing for us. The Facebook Live lately, if you hadn't really helped me get an understanding of that and even kind of coach me through my little, in all little things that are doing. And I know I'm still very much a rookie, but just the effect, when you help me to say, it doesn't have to be perfect.
yeah,
It just needs to be there. You just got to get it out. That
right.
has helped us. A couple thousand views on those things at times. And it really makes me happy because at least that's a way that I can now communicate out to the people that have been so a part of it all, that have come in for a week or a month or whatever, or even a day,
Yeah.
and they can get a feel for it. So big shout out to you guys and all you do too.
Thank you. Thank you. We're very, very, very grateful to have you as not just, your clients, but
Yeah.
you've become really good friends, and we love you guys. You're amazing. And Jerome, now I have to look at his name and try to sound it out real quick backwards. Jerome Jerome Elock says, just
Exactly.
says Jamaica would not have been the same without you and Mrs. Rhonda McCloy. I'm not even going to try it. Osterwalder, is that her? Is that her?
Osterwald.
Osterwalder. See,
It's a
I
good,
shouldn't even try it. I butchered it.
all right.
So obviously everyone in Jamaica loves you and what you're doing. So you guys are awesome. Let's make it even bigger.
we're for it.
Awesome.
We're,
Is there anything else that you would, we're at the end of the hour, but I got to ask you this one question because I know in Jamaica you've dealt with this. I know you've seen this. Somebody comes to you. I ask everybody that comes on this show this question. Somebody comes to you, they're broke. I mean, broke. Their electric's getting shut off tomorrow. Their car was repossessed last week. They can't figure it out, man. They're just stuck. What do you say to them to help them get over that hump right there?
Wow. It's a tough one because you get that one a lot, you know?
Yeah.
Well, you know, you just don't give them the old proverbial, go trust in Jesus and it'll all be better. You know, we try to put some action to it, like we have through Mission of Sight, we would direct them towards Mission of Sight, typically our foundation. I'd probably pull some money out of my pocket, to be honest with you. I'd say a prayer with them.
Yeah.
I'd try to help them out. I'd try to find them something, but we try to plug them into our system is what we do because that's basically what we deal with almost all the time.
Sure.
And that's kind of doing that fundraiser, talking about that fundraiser is having sponsorship, to kind of connect them with someone, it would be our thing. So I don't know if that's an answer that anybody else uses, but, that'd be where I'd be,
Would you teach them to fish?
Yeah. I mean, I'm just trying to think of the person that comes into it because we get a lot of it, you know?
Right. But the whole give a man a fish, feed him for a day, teach a man a fish, feed him for life. And I think, again, I am, listen, I'm a recovered alcoholic with 16 and a half years sober. Trust me, I've said a lot of prayers in my life, especially when I first, got my life together. I mean, but like I discovered that, and I'm going to butcher the story, but there's a story about a guy riding with this farmer through his land and the guy's telling the farmer, like, wow, God has really blessed you with amazing land here. This is absolutely amazing. And the farmer looked at him and he said, yeah, well, you should have seen it before you should have seen what he was doing with it before I got here, or something like that. Like, in other words, yeah, God'll open some doors, but man, you got to do the work and you got to walk through. Right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. You got to put some action to everything.
Yeah.
No question about it. You're gonna that answer is gonna haunt me it's not gonna haunt me, but it's gonna be in my ear for a while.
Well, I think you answered it perfectly.
Well, I answered my answer, but what I can say what we do though is one of our calls down there is to employ people. Right. So it's just what I'm saying is not somebody can come to work, that presents us that way, but those that we have, our big thing is to empower people by coming out of poverty.
Yeah.
We want to lift people out of poverty. And so providing jobs is our method of doing it. And if you can't get along in PEC or professional eye care Mission of Sight, then you're just not going to get along pretty much anywhere,
Right.
So that's kind of our channel, but, it'd be great if we could employ, 2 or 3 times as many people as we do.
I think you'll get there. I had somebody hit me up yesterday asking me for, advice on how to help this person and they're depressed and I'm like, I have to take care of my family as well and I can't do free work and not for somebody to turn a profit like that, I said to this person, look, sometimes you have to shake the dust from your feet, and Jesus said that in the Bible, right? He said, hey, man, sometimes you're going to have to walk away from that village and shake the dust from your feet if they don't pay attention or listen and change. So, And I'm, of course, paraphrasing the heck out of that, but
Okay, it's a good paraphrase.
yeah. So I think that we have a responsibility of helping people, but you got to do it with some wisdom behind it,
There you go.
right?
There you go. Yep.
Yeah. And so I think your answer was perfect, dude. So listen, I am very incredibly grateful for you being on a follow-up show soon. And I mean within the next couple of months or so, and it should be with you at the Jamaica practice. And we're frozen again. Hang on.
Sounds good.
And it should be after I get a hold of the cable company's repairman. So anyway,
we can talk about the splash.
yes, we've got to do this. $500,000 is the goal. Can we agree?
I can go there, Ken. I can. I've heard some stories, so I'm thinking if other people have a story like that, why wouldn't we not have the same story with all that we do?
Right.
So I can believe for it. I really can.
My wife just walked in. So how can everybody follow you?
Well, we're on Facebook. Doug McCloy. I'm on Facebook. Professional eye Jamaica. And Mission of Sight has its own Facebook page. We're pretty much Facebooky, right?
You're going to have to repeat that. I apologize. The internet is not liking you right now.
We're on Facebook. That's where you'd look at us. Mission of Sight has its own page.
Yeah.
I personally have kind of moved my personal Facebook into just being who we are. So I think I'm Doug.McCloy on Facebook. Professional Eye Care. If you type in Professional Eye Care for Ohio or Jamaica, those are our Facebook pages that we're just trying to keep live on. Haven't figured out Instagram. I know we have it, and we'll be there, but I think that's the best way. And you guys are knocking out our website, so have a good website up there. That's yourpec.com.
Yeah, perfect. All right, well, Dr. McCloy, thank you from the bottom of my heart. Thank you for being on today. You're amazing. I'm so grateful to be a part of all this with you.
Yeah.
So everybody, make sure you go follow Doug McCloy, follow the practices in Jamaica and the professional eye care in Ohio and in Jamaica. Go follow the pages and the Mission of Sight page on Facebook. Everybody go follow it right now. Appreciate you being on. You guys have a great day, and we will see you tomorrows. Thanks a lot.
Ken.
Thanks, Doug.
Thanks.